Hey guys, it's been a while. I hope you're all doing well. So, I was thinking the other day, out of all the Jump Force videos I've seen, I've never seen someone do a top 10. So I was thinking, since everyone, not everyone, but like, there's a good amount of players that ask me, hey, what's the best character in the game? Or, hey, who are the most OP characters in the game? What teams should I make? I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna make a video covering this subject once and for all, and I'm gonna tell you guys who the top 10 most overpowered characters in the game are, in my personal opinion. And if you feel free to disagree, I would love to know how you would order it in the comments section, or maybe there's a character I didn't cover and you can put them in your top 10. I'd love to hear. Always love feedback. So at number 10, we got our boy Cell. So Cell, what makes him OP? So Cell, I would say his most OP ability is just his grab. You can do so much stuff off of his grab. You can ult off of the grab. You can do a super off of his grab. You can do another super after that super. And even if they dodge mid-air, they're still gonna get hit and it's a free reset. So that's really awesome. His abilities are pretty good. I'd say the only reason why he's at number 10 instead of number 1 is just because his barrier is a 2-bar instead of a 1-bar move. And back in the day, everyone and their mom used Cell for this ability. Since he's less spammed now, he's more decent to play against, but he's still equally as powerful as last time. And he can even do resets off of all of his abilities because they all connect into each other. So that's why Cell is at number 10. And for number 9, we got Sasuke. Now, Sasuke is a real gem. So despite him having low health, he does have some of the highest damage in the game. All of his abilities are 1-bar. His Amaterasu super strong. Your opponent cannot get out of this. So if they're like blocking, they're trying to block escape, they're kind of cooked. You could just Amaterasu, 2 lights, 1 heavy, keep looping that over and over and over again, and they just take continuous chip damage. His Onyx Chidori is a great support move. I love using him with Toguro, or maybe Ichigo, Meruem. Sasuke's a really good support, and he's a really great DPS, and he's even got a few resets, and he's just so good with applying pressure that there's like no real reason not to use him. I love using him personally, and hopefully this would help other players find his value, because I don't think enough people use him really. Not to mention, a lot of people don't know this, he can grab ult, but you have to wait a second before you do. And mind you, most of the characters in this list, you can escape the grab ults of. That's my reason why Sasuke is at number 9. And now at number 8, we have Boo. Now, good old Boo is really underrated, I think. You just can't mess with him. Like, if you love support switching or support spamming, you do not want to play against this character, because his ult not only does double damage if there's an opponent's switch out, so like if you have 2 characters out, to do double damage, and his Now Boo Mad, oh man, if you suck in 2 characters and ult on top of that, this is without even awakening, by the way, you're gonna like take away half their HP. God only knows how much HP you're gonna take away if you're awakened. Some really unique tech about him is you can technically grab ult, though you have to like dash and then block mid. It's very weird. Shout out to Atormi and Kami for doing this, but it's very, very difficult tech for me to pull off anyways. And I have thousands of hours in this game, so if I say it's kind of difficult, it's definitely kind of difficult. And another unique tech he has is his ability to do heavy loops. So you could just do 3 heavies vanish, 3 heavies vanish, and you can do this about 15 times before the opponent just whites out. And for whatever reason, doesn't scale. Plus, this guy has awesome HP, so if you're looking for a tank on your team, Boo's your man. Alright, now to number 7, we have Mr. Aizen. I think a lot of new players, what they'll see is, they'll be like, Tony, dude only has like 1 move that does damage. I mean, we could count Black Coffin, but we're not going to talk about that. You only really need his right Coho to just do your combos. Man, this guy's a monster. He can do so many resets. He can forward step. So forward stepping with Aizen and Kane, which I'll talk about Kane later, is like, let's say they're trying to grab you and you just block, move your left stick forward. You can dodge whatever they're doing, and then you can like ult, you can hit them with a light or a heavy, you can grab them, right? You can do so many things off of that forward step. It's really hard to play against Aizen, especially if the Aizen main is really competent. Now, you can use a myriad of supports like Toguro, Sasuke, Meruem, Jotaro, Bakugo, Seiya, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of good options for him, and his combos can easily get to 100% if you know how to reset. You can do a down tilt, up tilt, and then that will just completely reset somebody. They can sidestep it or vanish it though, so do be careful when you're trying to do resets. Personally, I like to do 2 heavies, vanish, and then call support. Most people fall for that every time. He's really, really good. And his airtight's awesome just because he just prevents guard break cheese switching, and I love him for that. So he's really good. He does a ton of damage, got a lot of resets, and I think Aizen's definitely up there in the top 10. Now for number 6, we got Yoruichi. So Yoruichi is a really interesting character because she's a Season 2 DLC character. So if you don't have her, good luck trying to find her because it is nearly impossible to get any Season 2 characters now. She's really interesting. So all of her abilities can be used in the air. She can grab combo, and she can even guard break cheese. So you'll have to do a full string of lights and then do a charged up tilt. Your opponent cannot backstep this. She's the only DLC character in the game, to my knowledge, that can guard break cheese, and there's only a few characters in the game that can do that. On top of that, you can use her Raijin Senkai, things like a perfect barrier. So if you want like a faster version of Cell, Yoruichi's your girl. And you can ult off of the Raijin Senkai. You can ult off of the Shunken Thunder. She just has so much options, and she has quite a bit of good resets too. I like to use her with Seiya or with Toguro. Both options are equally nasty. I mean, it's just very hard to like play against a very competent Yoruichi main. And I mean, if you are, I mean, good luck to you, because you're gonna need all the luck you can get against someone that's really good with Yoruichi. She's not for the beginners, I'd say. So if you're like an intermediate player or an expert player, I would go for her. She's awesome. She's very strong. It's gonna take some skill and time just to train with her and like kind of get her movesets down. She's a very, very strong and reliable character, and I mean, her stats are fairly decent despite her being on the weaker end of that health pool. So that's where Yoruichi is. Yoruichi is number 6. Now, number 5 is Giorno. Some might say he should be placed higher. Some might say he should be placed lower. Kind of depends who you're asking. Me, personally, I think he's in the middle of the top 10 just because he brings so much utility, but he does have a lot of weak points, though. So his abilities like Muda and the tree move and his life regeneration move, those are all super strong just because you got on Muda, you have a ton of armor. You can do a bunch of different options just off of the tree. You can even R3 off of it, supposedly, and then 15% HP is 15% HP for his healing move. It's pretty good. Now, the big ticket item here for Mr. Giorno is his ultimate, where it permanently removes a character for the entire round. So let's say your opponent is a Toguro main and he needs Toguro to win, and he has like Sasuke and Bakugo as his other 2 characters. Now, if he doesn't train with them at all and he only uses them for supports, I mean, he's kind of screwed at that point because you're taking away his best character and now he has to use characters he never uses. So just this one character totally changes the game, and he's very, very, very much so different from Law, because Law can switch out the character, but he doesn't remove the character from the round. Just the ability for Giorno to do that alone changes the whole dynamic of making a team in this game. So when you're making your team to go into matchmaking, you have to really play around this character, else you're going to get absolutely cooked. And that's why Mr. Giorno is at number 5. Now, number 4, we have Ichigo. I think Ichigo has really stood the test of time since the launch of the game. I think he's the only character in this entire roster that's never been nerfed. I don't know why. His Getsuga Tensho is insanely overpowered, and it's honestly one of the best projectile moves in the game. When you awaken with Ichigo, the projectile becomes even faster and does even more damage. And he's just really strong. His strings are really good. His combos are really good. He's got a counter. He's got a really great down tilt. His up tilts are really fast. I mean, his strings are really fast. You just can't go wrong with him, and he does really good damage. If you want to, you could spam Getsuga Tensho all day. You'd win all your matches. So that's my reason why Ichigo is at number 4. And now number 3, Meruem. So Meruem is a really interesting character. I'd say the most OP thing about him is definitely his grab, because you can just do so many things off of that grab. You can grab into combo, you can grab into ult, you can grab into super. They block the super, you could just guard break cheese them. He just has so much utility. Not to mention his I am hungry move. You can get free ult gauge off of this. I've never seen that in the entire roster of this game. I will say though, it is very unrealistic to reliably get ult gauge just because it's 4 bar and the opponent has to be dumb enough to get hit by this twice. Very hard to pull off. Most of the time you're not really getting free ult gauge, and you're gonna get an ult from just taking damage normally. And King Strike, not only is it a pretty decent support move, but you can do some insane tech off of this, though the Meruem tech is very difficult to pull off, so it's a little too complicated for me to explain in this. But shoutouts to Itormi and Kami for Meruem tech. Just the armor on this one move alone is insane. But if you buff it with I am hungry, you could like go through the best of moves in the game that stop any kind of moves with armor, and you could just do full combo off that. Meruem is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and he is at the number 3 spot. Now for number 2, we have Toguro. If you see an Escanor on my screen, it's just because I have an Escanor mod over him. This guy, I'd say, is most notorious for his guard break cheese. Anyone who's been playing this game for a while knows about Toguro guard break cheese. It's just really strong. You'll see like Toguro Sasuke or Toguro Seiya, Toguro Kaguya, or whatever the deal is. Most Toguro players will be guard breaking. I mean, I'm even guilty of this. I mean, it's just too powerful not to use. And he's got really good combo potential, very good tech. I mean, his abilities are all really solid. His support is arguably one of the best supports in the game, despite it having a very long cooldown time of 18 seconds. His finger flip bullets can easily hit up to like 25-30% damage if it's fully charged. You can pretty easily pull this off with a Sasuke, Kaguya, Seiya, or a Bakugo assist, and then you think you're invincible. One of the most broken moves in this game. So if you deploy this at the right time, you could easily dodge abilities and like attacks, and then you could just do a full combo afterwards. His ultimate does really good damage too, and he could even grapple some of the bigger hitbox characters. So he's got a little bit of everything, and he's just got really, really good solid strings. And for number 1, you got Kane. Where do I even begin with Kane? So Kane is arguably the best character in the entire game, and here's why. So not only can he grapple, not only does he have one of the best one-bar moves, he can also forward step vanish, like Aizen. You can use Planet Breaker, his triangle move, to guard break cheese. You cannot vanish this. His Phantom Wave allows you to dodge moves, and you can do heavy loops off of it. So if you just want to do 2 heavies, Phantom Wave, 2 heavies, Phantom Wave, you can do that until the opponent whites out. You can arena change off of 1 light and 1 heavy. That's pretty good. Only Cell and a few other characters in the game can do that. I mean, Kaguya can also do that. So he has really good arena change potential. His ultimate does so much damage. It arguably does more damage than Boo's, just because he has the max damage, and his ignition bullet can like teleport around. So let's say your opponent's trying to attack you, you can just use ignition bullet, dodge their attack, and hit him with a ball of fire for like 20% damage. It's kind of insane. You could charge it too, so if you do 2 heavies, charge ignition bullet, that's easy, like 25% combo right there. And then you can use an Escanor or a Bakugo support just to do another full charge ignition bullet, and then take away about like half their health in like 2 bars. He's really strong and definitely a force to be reckoned with, and even his stats are really good. So he doesn't have a lot of weak points, so he doesn't take a lot of crit damage. He is arguably the best character in the game. If you're looking for who the most overpowered characters are, I really hope this video helped you a lot. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. You don't have to, though I'd feel very appreciative if you did so. Alright guys, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.